Hi there, I'm Steph the Video Guy, and this is another tutorial on how to use Preview in Sony Vegas. I'm using Sony Vegas 12 right now. This is version 770, the 64-bit Windows version. And so I am going to talk about this little sucker right here. This is Preview. Now it's set to fill the space right now. That's just a right click, and it says scale video to fill preview window. So that means that no matter what size this little panel is, it'll scale up to fill it. Now, because I use two monitors, I tend to have my preview on the right monitor, but we won't see that right now. We'll just work within this context. Okay, so I'm going to look at the window right now. I'll just quickly say that as you hit play, this preview is, I am seeing, there we go. I am seeing the preview up in here. You can see the frames go by. These are the project frames, display frames, and this will change depending on the preview size. And this is how fast the video is going and how many frames are being dropped. So basically, if you have lots of effects, commonly you'll have drop frames. You see it just blipping. I've got a pretty fast unit, and you see it sort of changes depending on what's going on. I think I've got some pretty light effects on here, so it goes pretty quickly. I'm just going to explain this palette and what's in there, because we've got this, which is the video properties. So it'll pop it up just to see what your props are. And yeah, basically it, to a certain degree, will view exactly as your props tell it to. If I said best full and then change this, it would go to full no matter what this frame looks like. So I'm not going to do that. So I usually like best auto, which means that it'll decrease the resolution depending upon how well it's viewing. It takes a little bit of time to do that, but yeah, that's the way I like to do it. All right, so here, this is the preview on external monitor button. Now I've got it set just for default, so it's going to my right monitor. I don't tend to use this, but if you've got an external monitor connected in through one of your devices, let's see if I don't have another device hooked up. I haven't used an external monitor in a long time. The reason why you would want to use an external monitor is because you want to make sure that you've got a good color space going on, that your resolution is not being chunky, or say you've got interlaced footage, you want it to look good. So here, I'll do a drop down. I do effects bypass, so that means that say I've got some effects on my layer, it tends to ignore them. So you can see what's in the clipboard, and yeah, okay, so going over here, now if you've got some problems with your playback numbers being too low, so this will go down to 5 or something, or 10, and you're trying to increase your playback ability, what I would do is I would switch it down. Preview is still pretty good. You see, this is the preview option. So that still looks pretty good. You know, like I said, my system's pretty fast. You can see the differences between them. They're pretty cool. You know, because my system is quite quick. This of course, I'll check the props here, but it's 720p footage, so it's, you know, middle of the road footage. It's not standard definition, so It is a little heavier, but it allows us to to see a really nice clear footage even on larger television. So yeah, so it's not slowing down. So that's what I like to set it to. If you're having problems, like I said, if it's slowing down on your preview frames, set this down. Set it down to preview, set it down to preview auto. Here's a drop down. Now you can show a grid on your preview. This isn't on your footage, obviously. It's just a preview, and basically allows you to align certain things to certain things. For instance, if I were using track motion, it would allow me to set track motion to align, if you can see over top that track motion panel, basically to align certain video portions to certain lines. Yeah. I can go down one, over one. That's if I have multiple layers and multiple things going on. And this is a good opportunity for me to right click and show that we've got a default background with it, which is black, is showing through right now. If I do white, oh, you can see this is just the white of the background of the preview, not white meaning white on your layer. So restore box, there we go. All right, I never use the grid really, but some people, if you're doing lots of motion effects, let's get the grid off there and let's go for safe areas. This is really handy when I'm setting up my text. So I want some text on here, and I drop it in, and I want to make sure it doesn't go past here. This is the text safe area. This is the action safe area right here. And I like to keep text all within the inside one. This is a standard for when it comes to widescreen televisions. Now a lot of the new LCDs or LEDs are giving you really tiny little side frame on the side, but I like to be safe. YouTube will show everything right to the corners, right to the edges, so you don't really have to worry about it. But if you're transferring any of your footage over, you want to make sure that it's safe. You can have closed captioning showed, or you can show just parts of the image as grayscale. There you go. Yeah, there we go. Go back to normal. And then here we can copy this snapshot to the clipboard. Now you can paste it into your Photoshop or wherever you want it, or you could do save snapshot to the file. Remember that when you save the snapshot to file, it's not this tiny little screen that it's saving. It is whatever this is set to. So Best Auto would give you a 720p best if you're not moving. So yeah, it's pretty decent. The rest of this, I'm going to right click. Like I said, you can have a white background just to show. That way you can see exactly where your edges are. Simulate device aspect ratio. If I had, for instance, a project file that was made up of a 1.22 footage, so basically I think it's 640 by 480 times 1.22 to make it anamorphic. Basically this would be able to show that. Because I've got square pixels right now, it won't show it. Next is scale video to fit preview window. Like I said, you want to scale that up so that way when you make that window smaller, you're not cutting anything off, and you know that you're not cutting anything off. It's quite handy. You can do adjust size and quality for optimal playback. This is another option you can choose if you're trying to get a better playback quality. So this is one of your options. I don't use it because I don't tend to have that many slowdowns. Show toolbar, so these toolbars. Show status bar, the status bar down here. Show transport bar, so I think that's this little guy over here. And video preview preferences. So if I select that, hopefully we don't crash Vegas. There we go. And here's the project options. And let most of this stuff is pretty straightforward, video capture stuff. Video preview to see what your safe areas are. Display project size, simulate device aspect ratio, background color. And so basically that's how it would look on an external monitor or a television. All sorts of little options here. And then I'll right click again, preview device preferences. And I'll go to the preview device tab of your prefs. So you can see I could do a 1394, so I could preview on a camera even if I wanted to. Decklink, Aja. I have some device connected, that's just the other monitor. So yeah, I've got 2 of these, HD monitors, identified displays, wow, 1, 2, there we go. Scale output to fit display. Now we want to make sure that we don't have a really wonky display on our television. Apply deinterlace. I don't like putting this on because I want to make sure that I see the chunkiness if I've got interlacing. Adjust levels from RGB to RGB. Like I said, sometimes the reds don't show properly on your screen, on your computer screen, and they'll really pop on your television. So you kind of want to either not adjust levels or adjust levels so that way you can have a better idea of what you're getting on DVD. Vertical sync, I don't know. Optimize GPU. I have a GPU that has CUDA, so it makes it really quick. And I recompress my edited frames. If you have a really slow computer, you can really speed it up by going like this. Don't recompress, so deselect that. Like I said, mine's really quick, so I don't mind it. Display frames in video preview window during playback. You want it to be in the preview window instead of just the animation down on your timeline. Use project output rotation setting. This is for if you want to do a large billboard type thing. So not a lot of people do that. Maybe I'll make a tutorial about that sometime. I've done that before. This is just stereoscopic 3D. That's if you're making a 3D project. I haven't done one, so I wouldn't, not worrying about it. So yeah, so that's preview. And basically, as you're working with your footage, you want to basically just have it in a really handy position. Like I said, I usually have it on my other monitor, and so just out of the way, give you enough room to work down here, and I have start stop put as my space bar right now. So yeah, so basically as you're adding clips down here, it will just show everything that's happening, hopefully including effects and track motion. Whatever you've got happening down here is reflected in your preview window. Here's let's see, here's some text, and it'll show the animation of the text. It'll show everything, and I do have a bit of slowdown because I've got some animation happening. I've got drop shadow. I've got, you know, a bunch of different things happening here, and so yeah, there we go. There we go. That is your preview. And like I said, there's just so many, there's a bunch of different ways to speed up your preview if your computer is a little slower. Another option that I've done before is to actually set my props directly to something really low. So say a DV widescreen, and it'll give me it'll make the preview a lot better for me, just because it doesn't, you know, it doesn't think that it's got to be this big, massive preview. Yeah, it does. It makes it quite a bit better. But there you go. Yeah, if you have any questions, ask them in the doobly-doo down below. And if you want me to do a certain type of review, let me know. Thanks a lot.